We're going to talk about the problems at the workplace.
Okay.
So
many things to talk.
Yeah, I guess so. Before you joined, we were talking about it. So I think everyone faces it, and there could be several reasons for having an issue in the workplace.
Yeah. Whether it's if you are foreigner or Japanese, they all face problems at the job place. But I think there are some differences between foreigners and Japanese also. So maybe we can discuss.
Yeah, I guess so. Actually, I have worked in the Seikyo, and I have worked in the second-hand toy shop. I don't want to tell the name.
As part-time job.
As part-time job.
Okay.
I have worked. I'm still working as a English teaching at the course, and I also was doing a TA at the Hokkaido University, and I'm doing one in an Hokusei Gakuen University. Okay. So I have experienced some issues. Maybe not at the university. University is more kind of a relaxed place, I think. But other places, yes. Even though I didn't have really something hard that I couldn't kind of cope with. But in general, I think everyone does. You did some part-time job?
I did, yes. I was teaching English at grammar school. And also I was working at McDonald's.
Which one was difficult?
Like difficult. I mean, they have like different meanings, I would say, but you know,
McDonald's is frustrating.
I would say yes, because it's about time. I have to do everything quick, and I needed to deal with for example, in the morning, kind of frustrating Japanese people who is rushing to their job places, and then
hayaku.
Yeah, exactly. And McDonald's is for example, in the US, I would say it's where
you get your food fast, but you don't eat it fast, right?
I mean, you get food fast, so your quality of service is bad. For example, that's like
it's not like irashaimase,
exactly.
and nothing like that, right?
Yes, nothing like that in the US, but in Japan, quality. I mean, time and quality of services. They're both demanded in Japan, so it was tough for me, I would say. And that was actually our first part-time job after coming back to Japan.
From US, and you were thinking like, if it is McDonald's,
exactly.
It should be like that.
Yeah, exactly. We serve quick. That's why our service is not that good.
That's interesting.
Yeah. How about you?
I didn't do it at McDonald's, but I did at the Co-op, and I would say at the beginning it took some time. I was doing a cashier and then putting the products on the shelves.
Okay. Tough?
I would say first time it was time consuming because you have to be on time for everything. There's time for taking the water from the fridge and pour it and then put it back to the place. If you don't do it on time, next day when the workers will come, they'll see a big pond of the water leaked from the fridge. And I think I didn't forget it, but there were like one guy who forgot it like within 1 week 2 times.
Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of problematic. He kind of, I think maybe he had too many customers. Sometimes before you close the shop, people start rushing in because they know it's a closing time. So you'll end up really working hard and forget that you have to pour it. So that was kind of a frustrating thing. I have a good memory. I mean, kind of interesting memory. So one day it was I think Friday evening kinda, and a Japanese customer comes in and walks in the shop, and then he goes to the cookie part, and he's searching for a cookie which is it's empty. You can see the price, but the shelf itself is empty. So he comes back and he see me there, and I just started growing my beard. When I came to Japan, I didn't have beard. It was just like all shaved, but I had just started, and that time I think I shaved my head. So I kind of looked like a skinhead. So he see me, and then he see me, and then he went back to the shop again, and he started walking, and he waited until one more Japanese cashier will come in. So when the Japanese cashier come in, he just started shouting at him like, "Why there is no cookie there?" Like, and the cashier was like, "Sumimasen, ima check shimasu," and he went to check it, and the guy is waiting there, and he came back and he said, "We don't have it." And he started shouting, why you don't have it? It is a shop. There should be the stuff there. Even if it's not there, you should have something at the back. And he started shouting at the cashier. And then Tencho, he was in the shop. And he came out and he see the customer shouting at the guy. And the guy is like a bachelor student. So he was kind of lost himself. He didn't know what to do. And then Tencho came in and he started apologizing on behalf of this Japanese, the employee. And then the guy left. And I just stand there wondering why he didn't come and shout at me. And later I kind of figured out, like, if I see myself in the mirror, that time I was thinking, this guy's like looking weird. At least he's like looking kind of, I don't know. Skinhead with the beard. And it's not like full beard, it's kind of weird, like a dirty beard kind of. So probably I would also not go to that guy if I was like a Japanese guy. So that was my experience from the co-op. I mean about the problematic customer. I think in Japan the customer is kyakusama kamisama. The customer is God. So that's, I think in Japan it's over. It's way too much.
Yes. Even at McDonald's.
You had that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, customers at McDonald's, sorry to say, they're not God. Even
for sure, if they're buying really something cheap, they're not God.
They're not God. Even me going there, I don't think I'm God myself. So yeah, it's over. It's too much.
Light is on. We have been waiting for you. Somehow. Welcome back. Somehow.
So how about your experience at second-hand shop?
Second-hand shop. Actually, I would say that was the only case that I had myself a problem with a Japanese person, and it wasn't a Japanese customer but the employee. There was a girl. She was quite experienced, and everyone was thinking she's kind of a boss of part-time workers because she knew everything. Any information you ask, she would answer you. She knew all the time, Jimu part and then Tennai part, everything about the shop inside and about the back. She knew everything, right?
Okay.
So
she has experience. I mean, she has worked there.
She was for a long time, and before working there, she will also work somewhere else. So one day, I needed a scale to measure the toys that we put on online. So I went and asked one of the full-time workers, and he said, "Okay, take it." So I took it and I came to my place and I started doing it. And at the end of the day, she's walking around this Japanese lady walking around the shop, and she came to me and she's like, "Have you seen the scale from the third cashier?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have it." "Why?" She started shouting at me, like, "No, you shouldn't take it from there. You shouldn't allow it to take it from there." And I was like, I asked Nani-Nani-san. He said, "Okay." She stopped for a while. She didn't know what to say because it's not like I did it just by myself. I asked someone and got permission.
Okay. Yeah.
And he said, "Okay." And he's not just a part-time job, he's a full-time job. And he's the person in charge for that part.
Okay.
She was like, "Kankei nai." I'm like, "What?" That's the only thing that you can come back. And I was lucky because there was another full-time worker. She was seeing what's going on. So I said, "Okay, chotto matte. If you want to get angry, it's not me. I already asked permission, I got it. Go get angry with this full-time worker." And she couldn't, alright? So she went back. And after 10 minutes, this Japanese full-time worker who was beside me, she went back. And then, like, maybe after 20 minutes, she came back again to the cashier. And she started apologizing to me. It seems they told her you were quite rude and you hadn't any reason. And actually after that, this Japanese lady stopped talking to me. So at the work, I told it to him. So he knew the situation. So he was like, "Should I come to the shop and be kind of rude to her?" I was like, "No need for that." So she didn't talk to me for a while, but later she started talking to me because I solved the problem. It was a New Year time, and there was a foreign customer. He bought some cards, Pokemon cards, and now he came back because he was quite angry. These weren't Pokemon cards. They show him the place where he should pick the Pokemon cards, but he ended up taking Digimon cards. and he didn't know the difference, but he was buying it as a present for his kids, and it seemed kids didn't like it, so they told him to return it, and the shop doesn't have a policy to return the stuff, so he was angry, and then I hear my name through the microphone that Gabiru-san, nirejima de onegai shimasu. And I go there and I see this guy and I ask him what's happening. He told me the whole situation, and I told him, is there a way you can take it back and he can buy you 2 more cards? They said if he has passport, we can buy it from him. Like, each card was around $60, yen. 6,000 yen. So they bought all of them, each of them for 5,500 yen. So he just lost maybe $5 for each, but he was able to get 2 really kind of rare Pokemon cards from the shop. And after that, almost everyone loved me in the shop because I solved the problem that shop had. And anytime there was overseas order and they didn't know what to do with this customer, they would ask me to write a letter to the customer and explain him the situation. So that kind of became my like superpower. Being able to solve the problems related to foreigners or maybe sometimes problematic customers.
So it was really international job. I mean, international shop. Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a shop selling second-hand stuff. So people who are interested in rare second-hand toys, they would come to buy it from there, because we used to have like a toy that's around $1,500. It's just a doll like this, like normal human kid size. So that's why I think I was able to cope with the problems there. After that, I didn't have any big problem at the toy shop.
I see. You know, since I would say 2 years ago, 2020, I've been working at some telecommunication company, and there's one thing that I don't understand. Maybe I've told you already about this story. So, in Japanese society, they're really punctual.
Yeah, timing is important.
Right? Timing is important, especially the time when it starts, like meeting or the time to come to company or the time to meet clients. They're really punctual about the starting time.
By the way, it should be like 5 to 10 minutes earlier than planned, right?
Yes, planned, yes. So if you meet like your clients, you have to be there maybe 10 or even 15 minutes.
If it is 10 p.m. meeting, it means
9:50.
You should be there 9:50. So get prepared so you can start at 10:50.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right?
And also, so about that's really punctual. Whether I like it or not, I mean, the society is working like that. But the thing that I don't like is they don't care about the time when it ends, when the meeting ends.
They don't have time limit.
They don't have time limit for work. They don't care about the time to go back to their home after work. They don't really care about it. So I've been scolded for being late.
Never being kind of.
But if they, I mean, my boss has a right to scold me for being late. I have the right to scold him
for being
working too much.
What? Oh my!
I think so. Like for example, in the US, it's all about contract. And after, for example, 5 p.m., they all
leave the place.
Job place, like at the same time. But that doesn't happen.
Is it because Japanese are obsessed with the job? Like, I know the Japanese. There's a Japanese word ikigai, like meaning of your life, and I find out that some Japanese is the work. Like for me, it's more about the family. Maybe for more foreigners, it's about the family. But the Japanese,
you know, to be honest, we still have Japanese still have I would say a mind of beauty of working for a long time.
So if you work really long time, it means that's kind of
you're gonna be opposed. Yeah, kakkoi. And it's kakkoi. I would say it's cool to say. For example, I worked until 12 o'clock last night. It's cool to say so.
Does
I don't like that culture.
I have seen a research about this, how long you work, and efficiency and effectiveness. Even though American employees, they work less than Japanese.
Yes.
Their effectiveness is higher than Japanese.
Yes. And actually, in G7, I mean, grade 7 countries, Japan is the lowest country. I mean,
even though you have the
exactly.
the longest working hours.
Exactly. Lowest efficiency in G7 countries.
I didn't know that. Inside G7, I think Russia is also included.
Yeah, it is included.
And the Japanese work efficiency or effectiveness is less than Russian?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I thought.
Nothing against Russians. It's just like I'm from a post-Soviet country, so we have kind of the same kind of culture, work culture, because of it was in the past it was a communist countries inside the USSR. So I don't know how it's going there. So that's why it was quite interesting.
Any other story from you, Salim?
Yeah, just want to comment. I think in Japan, your effort will be equal to time. Not result.
Yes.
Like in the West, I think your effort will be based on the results. But in Japan, it's based on time. Which is can be good or bad. I mean, if the employee's experience, no matter how much I do, I'll just get paid based on time. So I don't think he will put as much effort as the standard.
Yeah, that's it.
But if I
think Japanese situation is kind of fishy. So you can just browse on the internet and say that I have worked until 9.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that. And talking about crazy story. Again, it's based on your first story of being bald and looks like a skinhead. One of my African friends used to work in one of the biggest shopping place here in Sapporo. He's a big African guy. And he told me one day there was like some Japanese people taking his picture without permission. I don't know why, maybe because they do not see foreigners that much, but again, even for Japanese, it's rude.
I think
right?
it's rude. They most time they ask the permission to take the picture.
But
even they want you ask a permission if you want to take their pictures, right?
Yeah, and this group of Japanese guys, maybe like a middle age, they just keep taking his picture, even though he clearly looking at them like that. So he did what he was working there at that time, and he told me that you know what I did? I just came to them and then asked them to delete it. They said that, oh, sumimasen, they look really scared. Of course, imagine if you have a big African guy looking angry coming at you. Of course, you will. Yeah, and nothing happened to him. So
can we say in Japan there's racism?
Racism,
or it's just curiosity?
Just curiosity, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's not racism. It's about curiosity, but still. I think they think that...
I mean, they're not thinking that what they're doing is rude.
Wrong, yeah. Wrong or rude.
Yeah, maybe because some Japanese think, oh, they're foreigner. I don't think Japanese rules will work on them, so...
in my country, there is not that many kind of African people. And I do remember there was at the beginning of 2000s when the Nokia was really selling high. Everyone had the same kind of, shops were selling same kind of a Nokia, right? So some shops started, in order to attract their customers, they started having African cashiers. So people would get into the shop just because there was an African guy, so maybe they would take pictures together. So that was because of curiosity. So I don't know in Japanese case, because they don't take you to the job because they want to attract more customers. They just want to have more employees to work for you. So,
well, anyways, that's different topics.
But
thank you.
I was interested. I haven't never heard about the racism at the workplace. Maybe except Chinese do have that, because I have heard some Chinese people having issue at the workplace because they're just Chinese.
In Japan.
Yeah, there was a girl. She was working with me at the support desk at the Hokkaido University. She was complaining about her workplace. The guy is being rude toward her, and they will make her to do cleaning all the time. So they wouldn't touch the mop or anything sweeping. She was doing it all the time. So that's what I could. Oh, by the way, about the timing part, Japanese think they are really punctual. So anyone who is late, they don't like.
Yeah, that's it.
So if from the beginning you have this image that they look at you like someone who's not punctual, probably you're going to have problem for the rest of your work.
Yeah, that's true. And you have that kind of image once, it's easy to it's not that easy to overcome
it, right?
Just curious, what is the definition of being punctual in Japan?
Actually, I had a case with the toy shop. First day I was late because I was thinking the work time starts like I have to be there, let's say at 3 p.m. So I was there at 3 p.m. But apparently I should have already be working from 3 p.m. So I had to be there like 2:45 in the shop, and at 3 p.m. be at the cashier. So, and I explained them like misunderstanding, and after that I never was late. So I wouldn't say they knew me like someone who's being late. So if you had just once and that was because of misunderstanding, maybe you can overcome it. But if you had it just like that, no reason, you were just late, like nebo shimashita, like I overslept, be ready to get scolded or looked at as a guy who is being late to the meetings all the time.
So apparently in Japan, being punctual is like 15 minutes before.
Yeah, basically, yes.
In my country, it's half an hour after.
Yeah.
Or even 1 hour.
Sometimes they maybe even don't come.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of annoying, but yeah, I prefer.
Guy, did you have any language issue at the workplace? You also worked at the car rental shop.
Yeah, the language is like one of the main issue.
Was there a case like you couldn't understand them and it caused a problem?
Yeah, like back then my Japanese wasn't that good, and none of them speak any other language besides Japanese. So yeah, just small misunderstanding. For example, like your case, please be here at this time, but yeah, apparently I misunderstood that as be there exactly at that time, something like that.
And it's not maybe language skill for me, but when nodding, I used to say like and they said it's not okay to say that. You have to say hi every time. So when I listen to what my boss say, I always have to say hi.
It reminds me that like powder milk for the kids. Hi. There's a powder milk from I think I don't know the name of the company, but the name is hi. The kids when they crawl in Japanese I think it's hi.
Yes,
right?
that's true.
So hi.
Do you have any language problems?
Actually, you see, the Japanese don't expect someone like my face to know Japanese. So when I start talking Japanese and I'm not having that much issue, they already happy with that. And I kind of try to be kind, and each time, even if I don't understand them, I either ask them to repeat it or tell me something in more simple words so I can understand it. Never had issue from the language part. So even if I don't understand, I will ask them to repeat it or to tell it in a simple. I had an issue about the language course. I have told you guys this story. Like at the workplace, I'm teaching at the course English, and I had 2 old ladies, and for 6 months I teach them English, and they're improving, but they don't see it. So one class they started crying, both of them. I lost myself. I didn't know what to do with them. Like, 2 old ladies are crying in front of you, and you have to calm them down and find a way to talk with them because they refuse even talking with you. I ended up kind of, for 2 classes, don't do anything, but just talk with them, understand the problem. And after that, we are good. We are having fun now. So sometimes the language that you understand maybe means something different than you understood. So maybe they mean something else, you're understanding something different. So if you don't, try to clear up the situation. Because Japanese are not talkative people in general.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, actually, I want to add one more thing. Like you said, Japanese, they're not talkative. So if they have any problem, they will just tend to just not
passive
say
aggressive.
Yeah.
They don't tell you. They will just hide it because in Japanese culture, they don't communicate to solve the problem. I think they just try to overcome it just like that, and that could accumulate.
I mean, they have so many, I would say, tacit understandings.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you are a foreigner, I can guarantee you don't understand what's going on.
No, not at all.
Just want to compare like the conflict in workplace in Japan. They will just either ignore each other or not talking at all. But I remember when I was in the States, I was working part-time in the front desk, and something happened between my co-workers, and they even almost get into a fight. But the boss said, "Okay, if you guys want to fight, get out, solve the problem." Yeah, they really went out and they fought. Yeah, the next day I saw them with a black eye. They looked beat up. In Japan, it will never happen, right?
Nah, it's not going. Probably police will come in that case.
Exactly.
Even if you don't hit, the other one hits. Yeah, I think it's kind of fishy situation. So actually in Japan, if you're a foreigner, don't get into any fight. Because first of all, you won't be able to explain the situation because your language skill won't make it enough for you to explain it. Or even though you didn't start it, you were involved in a fight, that's already a kind of a penalty reason.
Yeah.
So just don't get into a fight. Try to solve it with the talking. That's I think the best way you can do. Oh, by the way, the interesting is Japanese, even though they don't talk, but you start talking to them, they start talking back. So take it into consideration next time if you'll have if you'll try to run away from the problem, you can be sure they will also run away. But if you go on it, they will kind of respond. So it will be easier for you to find out what's going on. Because they will be kind of, okay, this guy is interested in solving the problem maybe. Maybe it will look aggressive at the beginning, but if you show them you are really kind of trying to have empathy, understand what's going on, they respond back.
And never challenge your coworker into a fight because you're in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it.
Yep.
So yeah, there are time problems, there are language problems.
Did you have problem with your coworker who is a foreigner, not a Japanese?
Oh yeah, many times.
What was the main reasons?
Attitude. Yeah, it was back then when I was still young, and I was a little bit hot-headed back then. So I actually insult. Okay, I don't think it's a story worth mentioning, but maybe I can tell you.
Yeah, okay, so you had it, right?
Yeah, I had it.
I also heard some people have the problems with their coworkers because this senpai-kohai relationship between foreigners, it can sometimes ruin the relationship because Japanese know how to do it properly. Foreigners just think if they're senpai, they are kind of boss, and they are allowed to do everything with you. So that could ruin what's going on with you between you. So just take into consideration if you see any foreigners doing something like that, just tell them that even though you are in Japan, tell them you are not Japanese. That will kind of make them calm down.
And don't challenge them for a fight. Sorry.
Maybe we have, I would say, more stories to talk about. It's almost time, so
yeah.
Maybe we can discuss.
Yeah, if you have any interesting story at the workplace, you can share it with us, and next time we can talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.